Hello everybody, this is Rick Eutsler here, and I want to talk to you about the fill system we got here on the table. Now a little while back, me and my buddy Bill, we showed you guys this compressor and some parts, and we were filling some bottles and kind of talking about different ways that maybe a shop would be able to support air gunning. And this is really the next iteration of that whole system. This system's actually going to a brand new shop that's opening up in Indiana, Indiana Airguns. Definitely stay with me because I've got some pretty cool stuff going on with that. I'm actually going to be delivering this system to them here very shortly. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this system from the perspective of a small shop owner. Maybe you have a small gun store, maybe you've got a sporting goods store and you're thinking about, do I really want to support air guns? Well, first of all, I hope you do. And I want to create something that is a very easy turnkey system, drop it into place, that lets you do that. Now, there are a bunch of things on the market these days that fill tanks. They fill guns, they fill tanks, a bunch of stuff. And we talk about those all the time on the show. What you need though, if you're going to be successful from a commercial standpoint, is you need something that's very robust and that allows you to get customers in and out the door very quickly. So what we're going to look at here today, and this again is the next generation, next iteration of our system, and we're going to look at all these different options that you have here. At the heart of this system is the Komptec compressor. This system puts out more than 3.2 cubic feet per minute. This is a very fast filling system. It produces breathing quality, very dry, very clean air. So this system here is really top shelf. When you bundle that with the storage bottle, it allows you to do things very quickly. Now you put all that together into our fill panel. This is something we are putting together ourselves, and this gives you the ability to fill a gun, different sized bottles, all the way up to the big bottles, as well as using the compressor to go back and top off your cylinder when it's all said and done. And what I want to show you guys today is how all this works together. So the first thing we need to really do is make sure our storage bottle is on. As you can see, we have our feed line that comes into our fill panel here. I'm going to go over here. I believe it is on. Yes, it is. Now on this gauge here, we have our input, which we're sitting right at 5,000 PSI. And then we have a regulator. So this allows us to adjust for whatever our target is going to be. First thing I want to top off today is going to be just an air gun. You don't have to just fill bottles with this. You can actually go ahead and fill air guns. I've got the probe for the air gun. I've fitted that probe with a quick disconnect. And this is our pistol we're going to fill today. This is brand new. This is an HW44. Done a little shooting with this in the studio. This thing is awesome. We're going to have a video coming out on this very shortly. But let's say I want to fill this up. So we go ahead and install our probe. Make sure our bleeder is shut. Now here's the very cool thing. This is a regulator, so I can go ahead and just turn this up, make sure our valve's off. Go ahead and turn this up. I'm going to set this to the desired fill rate. So right now I'm at 3,000 PSI. Now, bottle's got 5,000. This is set to 3,000. I'm going to go ahead and fill my pistol here. There we go. And that's done. We are all filled up. I'll go ahead and shut this valve off here. I've got a bleeder back here. And now we're all full. Super cool. So that is very easy, very simple application on using this system to fill an air gun. Put this away over here. Okay, so the next application, somebody walks into your shop and they've got the new gauntlet. Now these bottles are super cool. These little guys, 13 cubic inch, they fill to 3,000. Go ahead and connect my bottle. Okay, shut the bleeder good. And when I open this valve, we're going to go ahead and fill this up. And again, it's going to stop right at that specified amount, right at 3,000 PSI. Bleed it off. Customer's out the door with a nice full cylinder. Very cool. All right, let's go ahead and step up to another bottle. Now, we're still right now filling right off our storage tank here. So this guy, 5,000 PSI, 45 liter, big volume, lots of pressure. And we're going to fill all of these bottles without ever touching the compressor today. Now we're going to go to this guy. These guys, 90 cubic inch, I've got right at about 3,000 PSI, so I'm falling off the rag on this, and we need to go ahead and fill this up for the customer to take this out. There we go. He's going to take this out and be able to fill his air gun up again. So now I need to adjust my reg. Make sure we're all shut off here. Adjust my reg up to 4,500. There. So now my output is set to 4,500. Go ahead and open this valve. Make sure my bleeder's good and tight here. As you see, we're just going to fill this right up. Okay, and we are full. And again, the customer's all set. There we go. Customer's all set. They can go ahead and head right out the door with a nice full bottle. So things start getting really interesting when you move from filling just guns or small bottles to when you get to start looking at filling these bigger bottles. These bottles are 9 liters. That's sitting right at 3,000 PSI. The air gunner's been out there. He's shot a bunch. He needs to get that topped off to 4,500. Well, we're still sitting pretty good. I mean, we're still got a lot of volume, a lot of pressure. Let's see what happens here. Go ahead and drop this on. Oh, connect that up. Make sure when you guys are using these quick disconnects, make sure these collars lock. If they don't, that could be catastrophic and you do not want that. Get the bleeder good and tight there. We've got our reg. Go ahead and put that reg's right at 4,500 PSI. Our bottle's sitting here at 5,000. Again, we haven't even touched the compressor, so we've been able to do all this right off the storage bottle. I'm going to open this valve, and that's going to put what we got in the bottle into that and get us up to the 4,500 PSI. Shut the bleeder here. Okay, so I'm going to open this up. Okay, it brings my line up to pressure. I'm going to open the bottle. Okay, now I'm going to let that kind of do a slow fill. Here we go, we're just about there. Almost done. Okay, now we are just right at that 4,500 PSI. We're just a teeny little bit still going into the bottle. Almost done here. That last little bit, just taking its sweet time. Okay, we are at 4,500 PSI on the bottle, 4,500 out, and if you look here on this gauge, we've just taken the extra pressure out of this large volume and used all of that to put into this to get this up to 4,500. At this point, if somebody walks into your shop and wants to fill something else that requires 4,500 PSI, you're not going to be able to do it. One of these large bottles will take this down from the 5,000 down to the 4,500, and that's where the trouble hits. If you're going to fill small stuff, you can use that all day long. In fact, you can go to even maybe a 6,000 PSI nitrogen, and you have some different ways you can do that to make that system maybe more practical. But the minute you go to fill one of these big bottles, you're going to drain that. So this is where the compressor component becomes so important. Now what we can do, let me shut all this down here. Okay, bleed this off. And we are out. All right. Okay, so now if we wanted to put this tank back up to that 5,000 PSI mark, all we're going to need to do, and this is the cool thing about this new panel we've put together, I've got a bleeder on the back side here. Okay, so we've got a line coming off the compressor into this junction here. This is a one-way valve, so we can't actually backfill into the compressor. And with this, we're going to go ahead and bleed this off. Just turning the knob counterclockwise self-bleeds. Okay, so we bled that off. Now, we're sitting right at about 4,600 PSI. So we're gonna leave this wide open. I'm actually gonna turn the compressor on, and we're gonna let the compressor fill this bottle back up. All right, so I got my phone, and I'm gonna start at the stopwatch here. And we got this open. I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up, and here we go. Okay, so now we are sitting at about 6 minutes. I'm at 5 minutes and 52 seconds. We're up to an honest goodness 5,000 PSI on the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and bleed the compressor. Okay, that bled our line here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and drain the condensate, which is something you need to do after every run. So now we have a fresh top off on our big cylinder, and we can go back and service whatever customer may come in the store. If it's another big bottle or just a rifle or a pistol or a small bottle, you can actually keep up with the volume that comes in. You saw this has automatic shutoff. So as long as you check the oil every day and you drain the condensate filter every time you use it, you can keep running and running and running and running this system. It's very, very reliable. It's very robust. See, this whole thing is really designed for the shop owner. If you've got a small shop and you're looking to support air rifles, you want to be able to fill tanks for your customers, something like this is absolutely going to be perfect for those needs. Pricing, we're going to have that up on the site coming up pretty soon. Got a few variables we're still working out. I think we've got one more iteration of this fill panel that we're kind of looking to dial it in, maybe even pretty it up a little bit, remove a couple components if we can. So that's really going to wrap things up. If you want to learn more about what we've got going on or stay up to date with what we've got going on, we're going to have these listed on AirgunProShop. That's www.airgunproshop.com, and there's a menu choice, which is high pressure fill systems. That's where we're going to have all the data about these available for you guys to take a look at. My name is Rick Eutsler. Thanks for watching.